Hey guys, Adam here from DirectionTrader.com. Let's do today's morning recap and mid-morning looking forward video. Tuesday, May 13th, and it's about 9:20 on the West Coast, so about 11:20 Central. Let's start off here by looking at the S&Ps today. You guys know we had this big push yesterday, big push to the upside, really nice little pop yesterday morning. Went into some consolidation patterns here. Now I have two conflicting things to talk about here today. Basically, on the S&P, we're above the resistance. We know that, guys. But what happens after we have these big thrust days? We have one of three things typically happen. We either have a little bit of a continuation, we have a pause where virtually nothing happens, which is kind of looking like what's going on so far this morning, or we have like this pullback here to retest maybe 38 to 50% pullback of the anchor leg. We're definitely not getting pullback in the S&P. We are getting pullback in the Russell, and the ES is actually looking something like option number 2. So what's going on here is we're having a big thrust to the upside, and then the markets are just kind of taking a pause. We're really not doing much right here as far as the S&P goes. So let's take a look here further at the Russell, and then we're going to look at the other two stock index futures. So what we had here was a nice thrust to the upside and then a pullback today. Now, we talked in last night's video about the Russell having resistance here, this intermediate resistance here with the 50 and the 100 EMAs coming down on top of it. So we have a little bit of resistance here. So let's go ahead and look at the other two, and then we'll wrap it all up together. We have the Nasdaq here, kind of holding a little bit higher, such as the S&P. And then we have the Dow here holding higher as well, just like the S&P. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, we have the S&P holding higher, we have the Dow holding higher, we have the NQ holding higher. Now, these all show signs of further continuation back to the upside, or continuation to the upside. But then you have the Russell, which has a pullback. So right now, the Russell is showing negative momentum after the thrust to the upside, and the other three are showing positive after the thrust to the upside. Now, typically you would think, conventional wisdom, that this Russell would go and join these three, right? That's not what typically happens. 80+% of the time, the three will sell off and join the one. So more often than not, say this Russell does decide to close on down like it's looking like it's doing right now, and we don't get a late afternoon rally here in the Russell. If the Russell decides to close bearish like it does, look to be a little bit cautious to the upside, and look to see if these stock indexes want to go ahead and roll over and join the Russell to the downside. And if the Russell decides to get a pop back to the upside today and it closes up near its highs, which it can still do, look for further continuation to the upside with all the stock index futures, with all of them. So just a little heads up. Let's take a quick look at bonds here and see where they're at. Bonds here, we have simply a pullback to test support. This is kind of in last night's video. We were coming right down into support. I was curious if we were going to get a bounce or a break. Looks like we're getting a bounce here. What will get me even more bullish if we're able to get above these highs, get more bullish on the bonds, bearish on the stock index futures. But we'll see, and we'll keep a close eye on where that's going to go. Take a quick look here at crude here before we wrap up, guys. We finally got a push higher here on crude. We've spent 2 weeks here in this crap, if you were to say, in this sideways market. Today we actually were looking for crude opportunities. We got that crude opportunity here above these 21s. What that is that's Friday's high. So as we were breaking above, we came back down intraday. We came back down inside of yesterday's range. And then I wasn't going to go long until we got above Friday's high because I didn't want to beat our head on resistance. Once that happened, we took a nice opportunity in the room here. We did get a little bit out of this, not a lot, but a nice small winner here to the upside. using Friday's highs. As long as we're able to stay above Friday's highs, we have quite a bit of room here to grow to the upside here. Once we get up here, we start pushing higher. We got quite a bit of room here to grow back to the upside. And if any of you are Fibonacci traders, we definitely pointed this out in the room today. We have a nice clean pattern here to the downside, so you can see we are holding our Fibonacci pullback here. We are holding the 50 and 61.8% levels, so an upside opportunity here with the momentum here down below us is definitely possible if the market wants to start to push up, start to get above and hold above these resistances. It's got a lot of room to run back to the upside here on crude if we can start getting some momentum behind us. So hope that helps, guys. Hope these videos are working out well for you. I'm being a little bit cautious here. Like I said, I'm going to wait and see if this Russell wants to go ahead and get a little pop here into the close. So let me pull up this other chart here. What this here is a 512 tick chart. If we can start to get a Russell here to start to build a base, we can start getting up above this pivot point. The pivot point actually comes in right over here just above the 23s. If we can get up above that pivot, maybe we can get a rally back to the upside. But barring that, I would be very cautious going into tomorrow. If the Russell continues to hold bearish down here, I would be very cautious moving forward with the stock index futures the way this is happening. Having the Russell pull them other three back to the downside. So be very cautious moving forward, but I hope these videos are helping, guys. I hope you are learning a lot from them. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. It's Adam@directiontrader.com. If not, thank you for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.